A few days ago, I asked myself a simple question. What was the biggest change I made this year? And surprisingly, the answer wasn't starting YouTube or deleting all my social media accounts or learning a new skill. It wasn't even visible from the outside. The biggest change I made this year was letting go of the ideal life, or at least beginning to. For a long time, I had a picture in my head of how my life was supposed to look like. And I don't think it was something I created. I think I collected pieces of it from everywhere. From movies, from social media, from people around me. And little by little, I built this imaginary version of my future where everything was perfect, where my life was perfect. And the funny thing is that every time I got closer to one goal, the picture moved. The ideal life kept changing. And I thought that the missing piece was me. If I were more disciplined, if I lost a little more weight, if I woke up earlier, if I stopped making mistakes, then maybe I would feel enough or at peace with myself. But peace just kept moving further away. And then I moved to Austria. I was young and I thought that changing my circumstances would change everything. Some things changed, yes, but I was still me. I still had fears and doubts. And after a while, new goals arrived. Different jobs, different plans, different dreams. And every version of the future seemed to promise the same thing. Once you get there, you'll finally feel at peace. But that moment never really arrived, because I was always comparing reality to an imaginary version of it. And reality can never win that comparison. This year I feel like something shifted, and it didn't happen overnight. I think it happened mostly because I got tired. I got tired of constantly evaluating my life or asking myself if I was doing enough or if I was doing the right things. And I started noticing that some of my happiest moments looked incredibly ordinary. Riding my bike, for example, along the Danube, or just simply baking a tart or cooking something. Spending time with my husband every day, filming a forest path that most people would walk right past, or just working on a video that nobody may ever watch. Who knows? If I would have told these moments to my younger self, she probably would have been disappointed. Because she always wanted more. She wanted more excitement, more certainty, achievement, or more proof that I was moving in the right direction. And somehow I understand her. At that time, she didn't know better, and maybe she wasn't wrong. Maybe she was just trying to build a good life. The problem was that she thought that a good life would always feel extraordinary, and I think that's why so many of us feel behind. We are comparing our ordinary Tuesday afternoon to an ideal life that doesn't actually exist, and of course, reality loses. It was never a fair competition. And something else happened too. I stopped trying to save everyone. For a long time, people would come to me with their problems, and I genuinely wanted to help, always. I would listen for hours, I would carry their worries home with me. I thought that was kindness, but often, after those conversations, I felt completely exhausted, as if I have given away pieces of myself. It took me a long time to realize that caring about people and caring people are not the same thing. That's why learning to say no has become one of the most important lessons of my life. For me, every no needed an explanation, a reason. Now I simply say it out loud. It's not because I care less, but because I understand that my energy matters too, and a few years ago I think I would have felt embarrassed admitting that. So, honestly, my life doesn't look the way I imagine it would. Not at 20, not at 25, not even now at 30 years old. Some dreams have changed and some plans, for example, disappeared. I have goals I no longer care about. And strangely enough, I don't feel sad about this anymore. Because letting go of my ideal life also made room for my real one, the one that's actually happening. Maybe it's messy, maybe it's uncertain sometimes. Sometimes it's boring, but it's totally worth it. I don't want to miss today's life anymore just because I'm busy imagining tomorrow's. I don't want to spend my whole life waiting for some future version of happiness. I think that's what changed this year, mostly. Not my life, not my circumstances, mostly me. The way I see things, the way I react, the things I pay attention to, the things I no longer need. And for the first time in my life, at 33 years old, I don't feel like I'm waiting for my real life to begin, because I finally realized it has been here the whole time. The walks, the conversations, the rides with my bike, the books I read, the quiet mornings, just the ordinary moments I used to overlook, and I think that's enough. Thank you for watching, and I wish you a beautiful day.